Welcome everybody. Hi, welcome back to the channel. And look who's with me.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. I'm about to be better.
Oh man, jealous. I should have got a glass of wine. I didn't even think about that. I was like, I'll get water.
I was thinking about getting a glass of wine, but I figured I'd take it easy. It's a little early.
Right.
And
See, early. This is not early for me. This is like I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, so this is not early. This is like a regular. This is evening. And I should have an evening beverage, but that's okay. We'll stick with water for now. Welcome to the channel. Well, the segment of this channel that's yet to be named. Mind your business. I'll get to it eventually. So everyone, thank you for everyone who's been here for the first time. I appreciate you coming in and welcome. Like I said, I've been lurking in your channel for a very, very long time. So,
what?
Yes, I've been lurking in your channel for a while.
Have you ever said hello?
I don't think so. I don't think I ever did. I'm not entirely sure. I have a tendency to lurk in a lot of channels and don't say anything. Kind of just like, oh, this is fun. You know, this is cool.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, I say nothing. It's just kind of like, oh, this is fun. I'll just watch this and be like some background stuff. But
I am so honored.
So, where did the name come from? Where did Scxrlet64 come from? What's the inspiration for that?
Scarlet has been my nomiker since, oh gosh, a decade before Twitch.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so I started streaming right when I turned 30. And I've been going by Scarlet since it was like my video game name.
Okay.
Back when I was like 18.
Oh wow! Okay.
So I have been using this name, and then in my 20s, I was working in nightclubs, and we would often have like a stage name,
Yes.
cute name, and I was Scarlet. So I've been called Scarlet on and off the internet longer than my birth name.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I think if someone were to if anyone other than my mother were to use my real name, I would be so confused.
I get it. I totally get that. That's happened to me where people will say my full name, like who are you talking to? Sam?
My little sister at family dinner says, Scarlet, hey this, Scarlet, hey that.
Not your real name, not your full moniker. Otherwise, like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, this is my. It's like, it feels like my real name at this point. It may as well be. So.
It may as well be. Have you ever thought about changing it, like legally? That you know.
You know, yes and no. Yes, it would suit me more, but no, I think it adds an extra layer of protection for anonymity. When you're a content creator, you gotta watch your back. Yeah. Also, that just sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in New York, so it is a lot of work here. If you haven't tried it here, I think like being downtown Brooklyn trying to figure that out, I would never.
There's so many accounts I would have to change and.
Right. It's just like this bank accounts and all this stuff I don't want to do.
Yeah, it's a waste of time.
So like I said, I know you because I've been lurking in your industry for a while, and you are an also accomplished DJ. Is DJing still one of your main outlets, and will you ever stream sets again? Is that a thing?
Yeah. Okay, it's so funny you should say that because I took a break from DJing when my son was born. Just because it's like too difficult to do it while also being a mom.
Right.
However, I'm preparing for it literally today.
Oh, wow.
And yesterday, I got my first outside DJ gig in 3 years. That's this Tuesday. So I have an actual gig. It's coming up, and I'm so nervous because I'm very rusty.
Okay. I think according to Carlos, thank you very much. We have an echo, and I'm not entirely sure why. You still have an echo, or is it still?
Are they hearing my voice coming through your speakers back into your microphone?
Maybe, which is weird because I have my headphones, so it should be. It should be quiet.
Coddlesworth is an audiophile, and is also a music producer and DJ, so he
Awesome.
knows his stuff.
So here, so a running gag on this channel is that if something is not wrong, it's not my stream. I only hear echo on my voice. Okay, so there's an echo on me. Let's figure out why that's weird. It's never happened before, and we're not entirely sure why. It's probably the stupid like. All right, how about now? Does that work? Hopefully that works. So yeah, every single interview I've had, something is wrong.
Huh. I wonder, is it coming through me?
I think it might be because of Video Ninja.
Oh, freaking Video Ninja.
I know. Fixed. Yes, I did it.
Oh, right.
I'm so smart. But congratulations on the first DJing gig in 3 years.
Thank
you. Time.
It is. I'm out there trying to remember how my equipment works. I'm like, okay, this goes into that hole, I think.
Right, like this plugs in here. So do you plan on streaming that first? No? Okay.
It's a corporate gig, so it's kind of, think of like a wedding DJ where I'm just playing the hits. I literally, there's no fancy like overlaying stuff going on at all. It's just me hyping up a bunch of drunk corporate dudes.
Well, sometimes they're fun, so you never know.
Yeah.
Do you actually plan on ever streaming music again like you used to, or is that on the back burner?
I want to.
Okay.
It's on the back burner for now, only because I've only had time to stream maybe like once or twice on my own channel for like months now. So if I'm able to incorporate like more days, then I'll probably do it. It's a lot of off-stream prep because I got to make the sets and I got to find the music and so because I don't have that off-stream time because full-time mom, I just haven't been able to. So that's my excuse for everything.
Well, speaking of off-stream prep, D&D is a lot of off-stream prep as well. Do you think that it's much more that way for D&D, or do you think they're evenly split between music and
So I used to be all music, but I have to sit in this room to do music.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
I have a whole setup out where like my family is, so I can do art and DJ prep DM prep, D&D prep, while still being out there, and it's easier to get up and get down. But like to sit there with like headphones on in my studio and focus on music is just like
just a little bit like, oh my god, this is a lot.
Yeah, because my son, I need him to survive.
Like I need you to be alive for
so I need to be able to focus on him. But I will bring it back. That's actually how I grew on Twitch and how I became a partnered streamer. I was a music streamer.
Okay.
And then I just started getting into D&D for fun, and that somehow took over my entire brand.
So was that a surprise? Was it one of those things? Because I know you have a lot of original music on Spotify. Clearly, music is a passion. But was that a plan, like D&D to overtake?
It was never a plan. Like music was my whole 20s and early 30s. It was my entire identity. I was writing music. I was filming music videos. I was playing gigs. Then I came out of Twitch, and then I started DJing. I was producing music. And then we were talking about Dungeons and Dragons in my Twitch chat one day, and I was telling everyone how I had never played before, and several of my viewers were like, "Let's put a game together. I'll DM. I'll come.
Yeah."
Since that day, I have played D&D every Sunday on my channel since 2019.
Wow. Since 2019, so well before COVID, where everyone started like flocking to this media.
And then it started growing fast because people started flocking, and over time, it used to be my music streams were still my money makers. But I think because I put more effort into the D&D streams these days, more energy, and because my TikTok became a D&D TikTok, my D&D streams kind of overtook. And so those are the, like, if I'm looking at this from a business standpoint, they are better.
Right. So, do you still, outside of DJing, do you still create music for Spotify and all these other channels?
I don't, but I will, I promise. I
Like, I promise to come back, please don't.
Oh man, I used to do like beat battles and like production competitions
Right,
and
right.
music feedback. Like this
Hmm.
whole channel was super, I was really ingrained in the producer thing. I have like $20,000 worth of
Wow.
hardware and software dedicated to music production.
Hmm.
I'm I promise, honey, babe, if you're watching this, I promise I'll bring it back. He gifted me a lot of stuff.
I
That
gotcha.
was like every Christmas, Valentine's Day, and birthday was like some piece of audio equipment. So,
Gosh.
yeah, so I definitely want to bring that back. I very much miss writing music.
But
It's,
it's
I
one of those
just
things that's kind of like, okay, we're gonna get there. Please leave me alone. Um,
don't forget about me. Don't give up on me.
I don't think I've listened to some of your music, and I don't think anyone can ever forget that. It's very, I like it. And I
You're
know.
so nice. Oh my God. I don't know how to handle this right now.
I listen to, like, people think I'm weird, but I listen to different things and watch a whole lot of things. I tend to lurk in a lot of different places.
Hmm.
So people are like, "What do you mean you've been here since like 2020? What do you mean you've been here?" It's very, very like
I
they've
had no
yeah.
idea.
So, uh, why Twitch? What made you come to Twitch first? Like, why was Twitch your first choice? Were you YouTube
Yes.
first? Okay.
Well, I was posting like my music videos and stuff on YouTube, but I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have called myself like a YouTube content creator. I had no idea what it meant to be a content creator. Even when I was doing music, I was doing a lot of punk rock. I was posting my videos to
Right.
YouTube, but I wasn't really a content creator. I had like 4,000 Instagram followers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just really didn't have much of an online presence. I started streaming on Twitch because so many people at different points in my life, because I'm a big gamer, I love to play
Right.
video games. That's how my husband and I met.
I love video games.
Always brought up Twitch for game, like you should stream on Twitch. You'd be so good at it. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what that means. And I remember uh, one day my husband was watching Twitch and he pulled me over. He's like, "It's you."
Oh.
And there was Amaranth dancing with like a horse hat on her head,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and this was like 2018.
Oh wow.
uh
Okay.
right, and he like showed me her Instagram. He and many people have said this. I personally don't see it, but people have said this. So
Mm-hmm.
Amaranth, I'm sorry, but I'm bringing it up. People used to say that I looked a lot like her. They brought it
Okay.
up all the
Okay.
time, and
Okay.
I don't see it, but it was so like striking to some people that I was on in 2018. I was invited to the Raj Patel. It's now called the Austin Show.
Mm-hmm.
It was back when Just Chatting. It was a different vibe. I don't think they do that stuff anymore on Twitch. So people who are newer to Twitch might not remember this, but there were like dating shows and King of the Hill shows and talk shows. It was like
Right.
a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was invited to participate on these shows, and another big creator who did like podcasts, who is very well known,
Mm-hmm.
like in the hundreds of thousands of concurrent viewers, saw me and invited me to be on his podcast for the simple reason that you look like Amaranth and she's going to
Oh.
be on my show tonight.
like why does like so I don't know who that is. So I'm unsure of who you're talking.
Amaranth is one of the most famous female streamers on Twitch.
I think it's maybe starting to click a little bit. I probably so
Big cosplayer.
okay.
Uh,
You said the right
very
word.
very sexy.
Yes, you
Does
said the right word.
sexy content.
Cosplayer. I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. Never mind. No, you're talking about. Got it. So,
Yeah, very famous because she's famous because she's a very hard worker,
yes,
and she's just kind of like, she does very well for herself.
right.
She's a very successful Twitch streamer. Anyways, Steven saw, without any of this context, just
Mm-hmm.
was like, you could do this, because she had like a really quirky and silly personality.
Mm-hmm.
And so he like got me a webcam and encouraged me, and I started playing games on Twitch for fun, and then I started doing music and art and stuff. And then I
Right.
don't know, it just like kind of grew and became my full-time gig.
That's cool. So, how did you trans? Let me rephrase that. How did your so every once in a while, just so you guys know, I might say, let me rephrase that, and it sounds very lawyery, and that is because I'm a department advocate for the fire department, which is pretty much an unpaid, unskilled lawyer. So every once in a while, I'm not unpaid, but it's
I was gonna
unskilled.
say you should be paid.
Yeah, I'm being paid by the fire department, but not in the capacity that I should be paid, in my opinion. But that's another story. So every once in a while, I'll say something like, "Let me rephrase," as if I'm in court. Please don't think I'm a weirdo. Well, I am a weirdo, but that's besides the point. Um, you have multiple campaigns running on your channel. How do you keep all of them going? Because I've watched all of them. And starting to watch the second season. How do you keep them all going?
Why are you so nice? Um, sorry, I when people tell me that they like consume the stuff I make, whether it's
Mhm.
art, music, or D&D, I'm just like the imposter syndrome overtakes and I get a little bashful. Um, I learned how to not prep too much.
Okay.
um so what I have my Out of the Abyss campaign that is
Mhm.
every Sunday. It's an official
Yes.
campaign, so I am following the module, which takes
Mhm.
a lot of the workload off of me, so the
Okay.
prep isn't too bad. Plus my players are so creative. They really carry it.
Right.
The, they carry it so much. And the other stuff I do, I just started a new mini campaign. It's brand new. I just start like session 2 was last Friday. In fact, today would have been session 3, but this happens to be our off week, which
Right.
is why it was available today.
Awesome.
Um, so that's gonna be maybe like 6 to 8 episodes long,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that's probably the biggest D&D project I've attempted in a while, so I'm putting a lot of work into it, but I'm
Okay.
really excited. The rest are usually just like one shots. I'll just get an idea for a one shot because
Mhm.
I'm trying to learn how to be a better DM. I'm still like I only started in 2019. So my philosophy is the more you do something, the
Right.
better you get. The more
Yes.
hours you put in, the better you get. Obviously there's more nuance than that, but I'm like, if I can just play and
Mhm.
run games as often as possible, I'm gonna get better and better and better.
Right.
And it will and because this is something I've decided to do as a performative work
Mhm.
that is like a profession, it is very important to me to be
Right.
really good at it. Um so I like playing in other people's games. Like I'm playing Icy Stars is in the chat. She's my dungeon
Yes.
master for
Hi.
Saturday. And I learn a lot from her. She has
Mhm.
a different DMing style than me. So love being exposed to what she brings to the table. Coddlesworth was my storyteller. I just finished a little short stint with his Shadowrun game. So it's not
Okay.
D&D, but it's
Oh,
Shadowrun.
Shadow. Love Shadowrun.
I got to play, like, I think it was like maybe 5 or 6 sessions that I got
Mhm.
to play with
Mhm.
them. I played a weapon specialist
Oh.
named Loophead. It was a lot of fun. And then, yeah, I am trying to learn how to be a good Pathfinder DM.
Okay.
So I just run one shots. I find something and I bought all the books. I'm obsessed. I find something that I think is interesting in the content, and then I
Mhm.
decide to pull it into practice. I just hit up everybody that I know who likes to play,
Mhm.
and sometimes I hit them up the day of. It's really bad. I need to stop doing that. I'll be like, "Hey, I'm running a one shot in like 5 hours on
Like,
Twitch. Do you want to play?"
come on and play
Uh,
with me, please. I should start doing that because I have promised so many one shots, and because my planner, the way I want to plan everything, I'm like, well, what time is best for you? When can you do it? I should just start saying, come on, let's do this now. You know.
I am very I it's so difficult for me to wrangle people in.
Hmm.
So what I do is I just tell them, "Hey, I have a game coming up. It is this day at this time. Are you available?" If they tell me no because they're never available at that time, I'll
Hmm.
ask, "What days are you available?" so I can make a note of it. So if someone's like, "I can't come to your Thursday game, but I'm only available on Tuesdays." If I
Right.
ever want to run a game on Tuesday, I know to hit that person up.
Okay, gotcha. So that makes sense. I am horrible at it. Like I've been promising a one shot for people, and it's not
You
good.
just the thing one shots are so like low what's the word? You're better at words than me. Not effort,
They're like the low hanging fruit type of thing.
yeah,
They're super
like
easy to
there's not a
do.
lot on the line.
Yeah,
So,
and they're easy to like just kind of shoot out there. Sometimes like, I also run a website where you can hire me to DM. Um,
ooh,
and I'm trying to remember the command and I can't right now. But a lot of times I'll just show up. If we miss a consultation, I'll just show up. Thanks for following.
I was trying to use your emotes and I was like, oh shoot, I'm not following.
um,
There
uh,
we go.
a lot of times I'll just show up with an idea in my head,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll just wing it, So, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that happens. So that's what I usually do. But the one shots are the easiest thing to do, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
you said Pathfinder. One of the best Pathfinder people, who he's currently on now. Um, he used to run a YouTube channel called Ask a Pathfinder. His name is
Mm-hmm.
Dead Aussie Gamer. Check him
Oh,
out.
he's my dungeon master for my
Oh,
Pathfinder
so
game.
there you go. So you know Dag.
Yeah.
I love his face. That's what I always tell him. I love
Yeah,
his face.
Dag has invited me to a couple of his streamed games. I've
Mm-hmm.
invited him to some of my stream games, and I actually play in a private game. It's not streamed. It's literally just a Pathfinder game among
That's
friends.
nice.
I play a leaf druid named Persephone, and she's a total dirt nerd.
Like, okay, yeah, that sounds like fun. Like, I would love to play. Whenever I have the time, love to one day play with Dag. I haven't gotten around to asking him, because I'm usually super busy all the time.
Yeah.
It's a constant thing. When you started streaming exclusively TTRG, well, Dungeon Dragon related content on your channel, did you find that kind of like alienated or weirded out your music followers?
Yes, a lot of my music followers will once in a while pop in to like refresh their sub or say
Mm-hmm.
hello if I'm having just a chat with everyone. They'll tell me they miss my DJ streams.
Right.
I don't see the producers I used to see as often, if at all, but like they understand
Right.
my situation. They know I call myself on semi-maternity leave, even though it's been 2 years.
It still
I
counts.
basically just said, hey everybody, until like I don't have childcare. I'm a working stay-at-home mom. Until my son Leo, can be trusted to play by himself and not like light the house on fire, I'm gonna have to be like a part-time content creator.
Yeah,
But
that when the kids used to live with me, my sister used to live with me with her two kids. They're 13 and 11 now. They still have a tendency to try to light things on fire. So it's
don't tell me that.
it's just a different chaos. Usually, if it's very very quiet, I'm kind of like, where are they?
What
Why
I'm
can't I hear
hoping
you?
to do is so if he turns out to be like into really introverty stuff the way I am, whatever it is, drawing, music, video, whatever it is, I
Right.
want to like set him up on like have his own desk in my office so I can work and he can work, and I
Right.
can still have him near me so I can like be there if he needs me, uh and hopefully have like a good influence on him,
See?
you know.
I try to get my niece and my nephew into it, and my niece is very much a fashionista girly girl, and she's just like, this is boring.
Aww.
She's so adorable. She's just like,
Hmm.
I'm not wearing that. She's adorable. My nephew is like, he's a video game kid, but he's also
Mm-hmm.
kind of shy, so he's like, I'm not going on camera. Are you serious? you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get him on camera.
Yeah.
I have strong feelings about turning kids into content.
Yes.
But I just like off camera, if he like had his own little workstation,
Oh, that'd be so cool.
I think that'd be great because I like hanging out with him.
Right.
He like last night before bed, he has a tablet where he can draw. He loves to draw.
Oh.
He'll sit there and draw on the tablet, and I'll
Mhm.
sit there reading a book, and we just hang out together. And then
I
sometimes he wants me
miss
to help him.
those. I miss that time. I used to love that because my nephew would sit on the couch and play with whatever he's playing with, and I'd be on my computer, and we would just chill. Now he's just like 13 and doesn't want to be near me. It's great.
Oh.
The only time he wants to be near me when we go do karate stuff, and then he's like, "Auntie, we're going to karate today." I'm like, "Yeah, we're going to karate."
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd love to get my son into karate. I did karate when I was a teenager.
Okay. What belt did you go up to?
Black.
Nice! Oh my god! What else? My nephew just got his black belt, so he is a shodan.
I was a karate nerd. I was like really dorky about it too.
Oh,
Like
that's
I took it
awesome.
I was on the demo team.
That is amazing.
I love to spar. I was very like I was a lot more athletic before I
Mhm.
had a kid. But yeah, I would love to get my son into
Oh, that's amazing.
karate. It was a lot of fun. What I wanted to do back then was I wanted to be like one of those martial arts actresses.
Oh, okay.
Like do kung fu movies, either as like the stunt or double, person,
Right.
or just like I was obsessed with like Trinity from The Matrix, and I
Oh,
wanted to,
I love that stuff.
be in a movie where I got to do a lot
Mhm.
of karate and
Mhm.
stuff, but that never happened.
Well, our dojo, the founder of our dojo, Sensei Thomas LaPuppet, did a bunch of karate movies with Chuck Norris, and
Oh,
he's the
cool.
second person inducted into the Karate Hall of Fame right after Chuck Norris. So yeah, so we that's the dojo we go to, and like
That's so
he
cool.
is
Yeah,
obsessed.
if I can afford it, I'm definitely gonna be putting my
It
son
is
in
definitely
karate.
much more expensive than it used to be, and I decided like I might as well do it too. So I got my light purple belt, so we're almost there. You know.
What is, if you don't mind me asking, what is like the monthly cost of that?
So for our dojo, it's $150 a month for 3 classes a
Okay.
week.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's
yeah,
it's not cheap,
it's not
but
cheap. It's not by any means. Um, I know there are other dojos that are much more expensive,
yeah, I know
or
the MMA dojos that
oh,
train you for
super.
actual like fighting,
They're
those are like thousands of
out of
dollars.
control. It's out of control because my nephew wants to do WKF. He wants to do the Olympics, and I'm like,
Wow, good for
yeah,
him.
he wants to do all this stuff. I'm like, dude, that costs so much money. Like you're
You know
killing
what
me.
though? I think it's great though to see like younger
Hmm.
kids have such focused goals,
Yes.
because honestly, it keeps them out of
It does. He is
trouble.
such. They're good kids. They're really good kids. They're both in
I love that.
karate. He was recently minted a brand new black belt this past December, and he's just like, I'm not stopping. I want to keep
I
going, and I'm
love
like, it's so
that. Good for
adorable.
him.
Yeah.
I am
So
so proud of your nephew.
he he's adorable. He might pop on, so because he's a follower of my stream. But, he might
Oh,
pop on, so
sick.
we'll see what happens. Um,
Aw.
you never know because sometimes he pops on and he won't say anything, or he will like pop up, hi auntie, bye auntie, and then he'll leave, and that'll be
That's
it.
so cute.
Um, do you plan on streaming being like a full time, all you do endeavor? Like this is your full time job, or
Oh, so streaming has been my full-time
okay?
job since 2019
Oh
was when I
wow.
quit. I had an outside job and I quit
Mm-hmm.
after I streamed for about a year. I had
Mm-hmm.
gotten partnered and I was making more money streaming than I was at my job.
Oh
Not anymore, but that's because you have to be online to make money, and
yes.
because I'm part-time now. It's okay. It's okay. My
Right.
husband is amazing and has been helping me help our family.
Gotcha.
So, but I mean, so in addition to making revenue streaming, I also like do art commissions. I
Okay.
sell stickers on my
Yes.
Etsy shop,
Mm-hmm.
which has been picking up. Now that's taking like up a bigger portion of my monthly revenue too. So I just kind of like every month it feels like whatever my primary income ends up being changes a little bit. It just
Mm-hmm.
depends.
Right.
I'm like a multifaceted small business owner, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. I totally get it because I do this. I manage the dojo. I also have the website that I run. Um, as a full time streamer, well, full time, part time now, I consider you maternity leave, but as a full time streamer, uh,
Content creator, we'll say that, because
yes, yeah,
TikTok and Instagram has started uh,
yes,
being a huge part of the work that I do too.
yeah.
And I actually have been making more money. So if I can get a viral video on TikTok, that'll be more than what I'll make
I
it
weirdly
on
got one
Twitch.
the other day, and I was like, I don't understand why this is at 10,000 views, but I'll take it. It
It's
was very
always
bizarre.
it's always so I am in the beta creator program, which means my
Mm-hmm.
videos have to be over a minute long in order for me to get paid for it.
Okay.
And for some reason, the one that goes viral often is the 5-second long
Yeah.
video using a stupid filter. I like used this blue eyes filter once,
Mm-hmm.
and for some reason that got like 1 million views of a bunch of people
That's
making fun of
weird.
me.
And see, that's weird. Like I
But I
a
didn't make any money from it
and
because it
it's
was only
like
6
thanks
seconds
a
long.
lot, like great, you know, and that's weird because I feel like TikTok's algorithm is so random because I
Yeah.
made a friend of mine, L2 Entertainment, who's also a Twitch streamer on here, and does D&D. He for Black History Month, it's very adorable. He mentioned me in one of his TikToks. As a creator to follow, and I was like, "That's very sweet."
Aw.
But he was also looking for a childhood friend, so I decided I'll make a TikTok stitching his video. Thanks for the follow, Noodle. Stitching his video, and it got like 10,000 views, and I was like, "What is happening?" like I don't understand what all the other stuff. That's the one I get. Okay, it's
It's
fine.
so strange.
It's so
Actually, the only
strange.
reason I became a D&D TikToker, which also propelled my other D&D content, was I had started a TikTok because I couldn't stream as often because I was
Hmm.
very pregnant and
Right.
sitting in this chair, I was like,
Exactly. I was like, pressure. There's so much.
it hurt my back,
Yes.
hurt all the time. Anyway, I made a little bit of everything on TikTok, and I was trying to find. I made music content. I made
Hmm.
just storytelling. Like I didn't know what to do. I didn't understand. I had just gotten on TikTok. I hadn't been watching it very often,
Right.
and my very very first viral video was a D&D video.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I guess I'll keep making more of that, and that's what it ended up being. And because I was making TikTok content, more people were coming to my D&D streams.
Okay.
And then I was like, I guess I'm a D&D content creator now. That's pretty badass
That's
because of
pretty
all
cool. Yeah.
it like TikTok you have to niche down.
Yes.
So I was not mad that that was the niche that
Hmm.
like the gods had decided for me. And then that was, I guess, like, yeah, 2, 3 years ago. And so now it's like, I can't even
Huge.
remember a time that I wasn't a D&D creator.
Which is, I think that's kind of cool. Like you, because you went from like we talked about before, you went from music to D&D, and
Mhm.
now it's your main focus. And I feel like I know you because of D&D. So I was just like, I kind of
I
was
feel
like,
like 80% of my current active audience knows
hmm.
me from D&D, and it's almost like they have no idea that I used to be like a DJ streamer, and it always like surprises them, and it's kind of fun to bring up my old DJ videos. Be like, yeah, this is back when I was cosplaying and DJing and stuff, and I
Right.
promise I'll do it again one day.
So, um, how long did it take you to get partner? Because you are a partner on Twitch. How long did it
Mhm.
take you to get to partner?
I started streaming in February of 2018,
Hmm.
and I got partnered in October of 2019,
Okay.
but I applied for the first time in March of 2019. It took me
Okay.
5 applications before
Oh
they
wow.
finally accepted me.
Wow.
So I had to work very hard. Oh, thank you so much. Sorry,
It's all good. Oh,
the
see.
he's he's so nice to me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's my husband. He's
Hi,
the goat.
husband. Sorry about the night shift thing. I know how that feels. I totally get it. Like I said, I used to work. I work for this. I don't used to. I work for the city. I am now in
Mhm.
headquarters of the fire department. But I used to be on the street, doing night shifts, doing the crazy. I get it.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
absolutely not fun.
Yeah, it's hard when you have like so now I'm a night shifter, and
Mhm.
now me and my son, our bedtime is 1 in the morning.
Yes, and it's bizarre because you come home. Like I used to come home at sometimes at 5 o'clock in the morning, and
Mhm.
my mom would
Yeah.
just would stay up. My sister would stay up, or the kids like they'd be up. I'm like, why is everyone up? Go to bed. They're like, well, you just come to say hi to say hi to you. I'm like,
Aw.
oh.
Yeah, he gets home at like 6:30 in the morning. I go to sleep. When I was childless, or
Hmm.
when we were childless, I would sometimes stay up because I used to work
Right.
not overnight night shifts, but I was working in nightclubs. So
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
I'd come home at 2:33 in the morning, and then I would just like play some video games for a few hours until he
Gotcha.
got home because I had nowhere to be in the morning. My shift
Right.
didn't even start until 9 p.m.
So like, what's the point? I
Mhm.
totally get it. Um,
Yeah.
when Twitch changed the partner percentage, what was your reaction?
Oh, to the 50/70 thing?
Yes.
I didn't really have much of a reaction because it doesn't even apply to me even now.
Okay, okay.
I don't have there used to be so the way it used to work was you could ask them
Mm-hmm.
for a 50 or a 70-30 split.
Okay.
But you had to have like 500 subs that were not gifted, but like people
People
subbing
just subbing.
themselves.
Okay, okay.
And you could ask them and then they could. So it's essentially the same thing, except they've just made it a rule. Instead of them saying, maybe we'll give it to you, maybe we won't give it to you. Now it's like
Gotcha.
an actual rule. So I feel super neutral about it. I
Mm-hmm.
prefer things to be more clear.
Right.
I don't like I met all of the qualifications for being partnered, and
Mm-hmm.
yet I still got declined like 5 times because
Yes,
there
yeah.
was at that moment there was a lot of newer girls
Mm-hmm.
who were new to Twitch, but were growing so fast
Yeah.
because it was just a time when it was a good time to be on Twitch.
Yes, yeah.
It wasn't as I think it's harder to be on Twitch now than it was then.
100% harder. Believe me, it's 100% harder.
I
Uh,
don't even know if I would be able to get partnered or even get to where I'm at now if I started now and I didn't
so
have TikTok behind me.
I started streaming about 18 months ago, or no,
Mhm.
about I forget when. Haley, my mod is here. I think it was a year ago. Whenever was my Twitch stream, because I also Twitch
Okay.
stream anniversary. I completely forgot about it, but it was about a year, and I just hit 200 followers, and I wasn't frustrated. I'm not frustrated about it, mostly because I don't care. like,
Honestly,
like,
you used to be able to grow on Twitch, and the
hmm
strategy when I started was to show I did a lot of just chatting,
hmm
and then
hmm
I moved to the DJing. There were like podcasts all the time with like
yes,
bigger creators, and they just wanted to fill up their room with as
right.
many people as possible. And they were going for like cute e-girls and weird guys who said out of pocket things.
Yes.
And it was a really easy way to get exposure and to
hmm
get new followers because you're
Right.
just hanging out in a room. And I eventually stopped attending these because it had a very toxic vibe that I just wasn't
Yes. It was.
enjoying.
Yeah.
I was also like, all these kids were like 20, 18,
Yeah.
19,
Look
20
at
years
like
old.
babies.
I was like 31. And I'm like, this is so weird. So
Yeah.
as soon as I could like stand on my own, I
hmm
kind of distanced myself from it. Also, I was just the DJ streams started
Right.
picking up. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna just do that for a little while. But I think that's why it was hard to get partnered because there was just so many girls who would come on
Yeah.
and just
Be girly.
and
Yeah.
then they would have the 75 within
hmm
days. They would have the 75
Right.
limit, and Twitch wanted partners who were like that were showing that this was like their business.
Right.
So it's not that I didn't qualify, they just wanted me to qualify to
Under that niche.
show that
Yes.
I had like longevity. However, had I had social media presence on Instagram or TikTok at the time that was really strong, I think they would have accepted me the first time because
Gotcha.
they look at your other social medias. If you have
Okay.
a lot of Instagram followers, if you have a lot of TikTokers or a
hmm
YouTube, you're kind of showing, okay, you are a brand. You
hmm
because they want a brand, right? They
Right.
don't want
Right.
just someone who's like a hobbyist.
Right. So with that, with knowing all of that and the way it is now, what advice would you give someone who's deciding I'm going to get on Twitch now?
Get on other social medias and
hmm
bring them. Don't use Twitch to grow.
Okay.
Use other social media to grow and then bring them to Twitch.
Mm.
You can monetize on Twitch easier than you can monetize on TikTok,
Yes.
but you can grow on TikTok better than you can grow on Twitch. So diversifying your platforms
hmm
is the most important thing you can do. I just started posting more to YouTube because like if I'm
Same.
on Twitch, yeah, you need different like sources of revenue.
Right.
I only make money on Twitch when I'm streaming on my channel,
hmm
but a YouTube video can go up on YouTube and is there forever.
Is
And
there?
if you're
Yeah.
monetized, it will bring in trickling money.
Right.
Uh, Instagram and TikTok, you can grow, you can get followers faster if you're
hmm
posting and you get embedded into one of like the niches there, and then you can
Right.
bring them to your other. So you want to build up these pillars of social media and all support your platform.
Gotcha.
So that would be my advice.
What was what was your reaction when Twitch made all the changes to like multi-streaming? Because it was a big thing where you couldn't.
That surprised me and I was like, yes, finally. I haven't done it yet, but I want to. I want to get that set up. In fact, I think I should. I think I should get that set up.
Yeah, yeah. I've been
Uh,
trying. I've been saying I'm gonna do it. Like I could live stream on TikTok right now and I don't think I could do it on YouTube yet, but I could definitely live stream on TikTok right now, and I keep not doing it. I don't
No,
know.
in fact, that's a great idea. Because I forgot that with TikTok, I forgot that you could like sit there and do it on your computer.
Right.
I need to do that. I absolutely need to do that because I know live streaming on TikTok will bring you in
Right.
more followers and get more eyes on your videos. It's all about just being a cross-platform brand. If you can multi-stream, freaking do it. One of my good friends who only recently started making content, and has already like blasted past me on YouTube. He's got like over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube now. He
I
started
just
his YouTube the same time as me, but he makes content all the time and I don't. And now I'm seeing that he can stream on YouTube and Twitch, and he gets really good viewers. Like he's crushing it because he puts in the work.
He's been doing it well before me, and he's a content creator on YouTube. It's mostly exclusive on YouTube, and he does like cars and content stuff like that. But he just blows past me. He's really good at the live stuff and constantly putting out material. So,
another thing. Consistency and quantity.
Yes.
It has to be quality. But the more you create, the faster you grow.
Exactly. Well, I'm cheating a little bit here, but I take these interviews that I've done and like cut them up and stick them on YouTube.
That's not cheating. Yeah. That's what you're supposed to do.
I know. It feels like cheating to me. It feels like I am like I still take the edited. Like this interview will be edited down for time, but
okay,
and it gets stuck on YouTube.
This. Cheating implies that there is a competition.
Okay, and there's not.
It's not cheating. No, I tell people all the time to put their stuff up on like to reuse content. The only time it wouldn't be good to reuse content isn't because it's not the ethical thing to do. It's because certain platforms have certain cultures, and so what goes viral over here might not necessarily go viral over there. Like my TikToks do really good on Instagram, but they do not do very well on YouTube Shorts. So I don't bother putting them up on YouTube. So yeah, put it on YouTube.
Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of YouTube Shorts, and strangely my TikToks, they're stopping at a certain amount. I'm getting like a few. There's one or two. I think one with Robert Hartley, or with Dag. I forget who it's with. It's like 7,000 views. But then I take that same short and it's 43 views. It makes zero sense. I don't understand.
TikTok is strange. The way they so all these platforms show their content, their algorithms work different from each other. TikTok will show your video to an initial like tester batch, and then if your video performs above a certain threshold, then it'll show it to a next batch. But if it doesn't perform, then it gets stuck at that number. That's what that happens to me too. If a video gets stuck at a very specific number, I know, okay, that video just didn't perform well because it wasn't able to cross that. Like every video I post, I could like just burp in the camera and post it. No matter what I post, it will always hit a very specific number, and then if it crosses that, then that means the algorithm picked it up because it thinks that it did well, and it'll do that in kind of like stages. It's almost like floodgates. It opens up the floodgate, and then it gets stuck at the next one, and then it opens it if you can keep doing that.
I would love to figure out the consistency of it, but I can't.
No one can figure it out. They're always changing it. It's always hard. Sometimes, some days you're not doing well because they're pushing a different type of content. Like, oh, we want videos that are more than a minute long, or oh, we want sideways videos. It's impossible. At this point, I don't care as much about going viral anymore because I have a decent following and I do get a handful of views. I am more interested in telling who I have what's going on over here.
Right.
So I'll be like, hey, I'm going to be doing this new cute woodland creatures D&D campaign, which is my new Friday game.
Yes.
And I talk about it on TikTok and tell the audience about what's going on, what are my thoughts, showing off the art. And they might not, those videos never go viral, but I have like 100 people on Twitch waiting to watch it because the turnover, because they're there for that. Yeah.
Which makes sense. You started streaming a while long into when Twitch started. And that sounded really, really mean in my head. Um, when you started streaming, how did you overcome like that anxiety and fear of being on camera, or was it like a natural thing for you?
No, it was so scary. I just my husband was always sitting right next to me, and we would just play games together, and so him being there made it a little more comfortable for me. And then I eventually kind of I started recognizing faces in my chat, and it was easier for me to like, oh hey, so and so, it's good to see you again. And then it just felt like having conversations.
Right.
And then now I still get a little nervous when I turn the camera on, so I have like a starting soon screen
Yes.
that I turn on. I turn it on, then I finish my makeup, I type, I don't even talk, I type, "Hey guys, I'll be with you soon." So it's
Same.
starting to like switch my brain into it.
Yeah.
And then at some point I'll start talking into the microphone without the camera, like, "Oh, it's good to see you all. Hold on, be right back, getting a drink." So it's like I
Oh, that's a
give
good idea. I never
myself
thought of that.
yeah, it's like a multi-stage prep, which helps me. So finally, I'll be like mid-conversation without my camera on, talking to my chat, and they'll be like, "Oh, here, let me just switch my camera on real quick." And there's something about that in my mind that makes it feel less like, "Hey, what's up, everybody?" Because that just I'm not good at that. That's why I
Right.
don't do
Right.
YouTube videos very well.
I, I'm not good at that. I'm not good at. I don't think I am. My mods and some of my friends will say otherwise, but I don't think I am. Of going, hey guys, what's going on? I don't feel like I'm good at it. They may think
It's
otherwise, but I don't think I am.
Hey, it might, being good at it might not necessarily mean the delivery doesn't land. Your delivery definitely lands, but it can mean just your comfortability with it.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
yeah, like that's like I might say, "Hey, I'm not really good at this thing." Other people will be like, "What? You do such a good job."
Right.
Like, no, but I'm not good with it. Like, it doesn't sit with me comfortably.
It doesn't feel natural. Like it feels unnatural to me. Like my friend, like I said, who's on YouTube, it is natural to you. Could see how natural it is for him. It is not natural for me. It doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, I'm a lot better at live interaction than I
Yes,
am with filming a video, reading a script.
agreed. I
Which is a
agree.
shame because I really wanna get onto YouTube.
I, I would love to do that. That's why it is. It's fine. Um, World Wizard of the Coast has
Mhm.
now done one D&D. I have my opinions about one D&D, however, and some of them are, and this is my opinion. Please, no one come at me, but um, I think they've sanitized D&D. I think that they've taken the rules, which from the feet imbalance. They've done a bunch of things with the rogue rules, and they've made the game what I think that 4E people used to complain about 4E about. They made it into, in my opinion, an MMORPG. That's what it feels like. Um,
Hmm.
it doesn't feel as fluid as 5E does. Do you agree with the direction that World of Warcraft? Why do I keep saying that? Wizard of the Coast.
I
Um,
love I'm a World of Warcraft player, so
um, I think maybe I need to start playing. But do you agree with the direction that WotC has gone in?
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I do not know a single change because I'm not following one D&D. I'll learn it, I guess, when it's officially released, but I can't keep up with the play tests and the changes. Uh, it stresses me out to have to like learn, get attached to something, and then have them change it. I'm like, just let me know when you finish
When you
it.
finish it, okay.
I'm playing Pathfinder, so I'm trying to convince my Out of the Abyss campaign for season 2 for like the sequel to play Pathfinder instead of D&D.
Look, I think that Pathfinder is very, very good at picking up the slack where WotC drops it. So I think that they are biding their time with one D&D. That's my opinion.
I think the one D&D I did like check out. I was interested in seeing where it would go, but when the whole open gaming license drama happened, I kind of checked out.
Yeah.
I thought that that could really negatively affect my future content creation if they
Yes.
were gonna like steal our creations. Like I have a Patreon where I make stat blocks and D&D
Yes.
art and all of that, and I was like, is that now screwed? So I feel like once that happened, my brain became more of a Pathfinder girly,
Right.
and if I could choose, I'd prefer to play that, but I
Hmm.
still play D&D because I have a lot of friends who know D&D, and I don't
Right.
wanna force them to play a new system, but if I had the choice, I would play Pathfinder.
Pathfinder. Well, I will say this with the OGL that they were trying to mess with. I think they backpedaled a little bit. They didn't realize how strong of resistance they would get. I mean,
They
this.
did backpedal, but
Mhm.
that doesn't mean won't try it again in the future.
I agree. I think they will try it again in the future. I firmly believe that a corporation is going to cooperate.
Yeah,
So,
I love that. Corporations go that's exactly what I'm thinking is
yes.
they've kind of their last several decisions have shown us that they care more about being a corporation and less
Yes.
about being an art form, and
Hmm.
to me, D&D is art, and
Yes.
I want companies to do well so that they can continue to invest, like, I don't want like Paizo who makes Pathfinder, obviously they make business decisions, but
Hmm.
so far it feels like they put their audience first
Hmm.
in that.
Yes. Hmm. They do.
Whereas WotC and Hasbro have been just it's like scandal after scandal, and
It's bad.
it
It's
makes it
so
hard to
bad.
trust them, and I don't trust companies who their product is art, but they treat it as just a profit generating
Yes.
machine. I
Right.
don't think that's right because when you put profits first, the art will suffer.
It's,
The
mhm.
whole like mindset of oh competition and profits encourage growth and ingenuity. I don't think that works with art. That might
Right.
work with like other technology where different companies are competing to get out the best widgets
Hmm.
so that you buy the best widget. With art, they just will always cut corners, like, they got
Yes.
caught using AI art several
Hmm.
times,
Hmm.
their books that they're releasing have so little content in them, a lot of
So bad.
reprints, and just very disappointing, like,
Yeah.
compared to, like, a Paizo book, which is chocked full of
It's full.
stuff,
It is
like,
full. Yeah.
I buy every single Pathfinder book. I haven't bought a D&D book since Tasha's Cauldron because I
Wow.
just
Yeah. I think the last time I bought a D&D book was actually no. I did buy Ice Age. So I mean you know which one I'm talking about. I did buy the last module they had out of curiosity. I forget why I bought it, but
Rime of the Frost Maiden?
that one, yes.
Okay, I do have that book. I haven't
I
really
can't
read
remember.
through it. I think it's more like a setting book with
It's
an
a very
adventure
much
in
a
it.
setting book, but I can't remember why I bought it. I don't know why I bought it. It's one of those
I
moments
think
like,
so a lot of my D&D books I put on my Thrones gift like my wish list and
okay,
people will send it to me. So someone did send me not Starfinder,
hmm,
Spelljammer.
okay,
And thought it was going to be really cool, but it just didn't have a lot.
it doesn't have. Yeah, I've never read. I don't think I've ever read Spelljammer, but I think I've heard that same opinion before about how it doesn't have much, and
The page count is super super
hmm,
small.
hmm,
There was a lot of reprints in there. Like the pictures of like the ships that you can ride in
yeah,
them are just taken from previous editions. There was nothing new added to it. They didn't have like it just didn't have a lot. And I didn't buy it, but I heard that their new Planescape book follows the same thing. It's just not a lot of content. It's a
hmm,
very small amount of pages. And yeah, it just seems like a waste of money.
yeah.
And I don't know, like, I love content, like, I love books with
Right.
character features and items and stuff, but if it's not a lot, like
I feel like I could get more out of one homebrewing my own thing, and two because I read so much. Hence the books behind me. Because I read so much, I'm always gonna have an idea for a game. So it's not I don't need them.
yeah.
Modules are easy because you could pull them out, but I don't think I don't use them anymore. So
But that's why I like the Paizo books because not only do they have, like, adventure ideas, but they have tons of items,
hmm,
new spells, new classes,
see.
um new like they're so and they have a fun theme. Like one of the books that I got recently is called Book of the Dead and it's just
Mm.
a bunch of character options for playing undead characters. Like you could be a
Oh, that
lich or
sounds
a
so much fun.
mummy or a zombie or a skeleton
That sounds
or
like
a
so much fun.
ghost
Yeah.
or a ghoul. And then there's a bunch of items that have to do with undead. Then there's a bunch of animal companions that are undead and familiars that are undead. And then there's a bunch of adventure hooks that are
Hmm.
undead and little adventures inside there. So it's like the book has like a whole theme and then just packed full of stuff around
Right.
the theme. And I'm like, I want to run a whole campaign where everyone's a mummy.
That sounds amazing. Actually, that would be fun. But I I have a tendency to like just ignore whatever WotC's putting out because a lot of times it's so skeleton and so minute that it's like, what am I pulling from here? There's
Yeah.
nothing to pull from. It's sad. Um, Everyone
I did not
loves.
mean this to turn into a
I
WotC hate
know
train.
it's all
Look,
good. It's all good.
I love Dungeons and Dragons. At the end
Yes,
of the day, I love Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not going to boycott Dungeons and Dragons. If
exactly.
they release a book that catches my eye, I will buy
I will
it.
buy it.
Like
Yes.
Tasha's was a great book. I'm happy I bought that book.
Yes.
I'm not opposed to learning 1D&D. I don't know anything about 1D&D. I don't know what the rule changes are
It
because
is
I'm just not paying
irritating to
attention.
me, but I'm not gonna go into it. It's very irritating to me.
Are they just making it simpler? Like, are they just like rounding out rules?
They've simplified rules. They have taken the spell list and pretty much made it into like these three classes. It's very bizarre. They've changed the rules for rogues. They've Usa. It's fine. It'll be fine.
I don't. The only reason I haven't looked it up is just because I know it's going to change again soon,
Right.
and that's like too much for my
might as well
heart to
just
handle.
yeah.
I'd rather just wait until they figured it out and then look at all the new rules.
Just call me Shakespeare. So, what do you think about the miniature market? Like, I have miniatures, mostly because I need them for when I do run a game for people who've paid me for it. But what do you think about the miniature market, especially specifically with WizKids and how they offer these blocks of miniatures and you don't even know what's in it? It almost feels like gambling to me. But what do you think?
So I don't buy miniatures because I play 100% virtually.
Okay.
I've only played one D&D game in person, and it was a one shot, and it was like only a few months ago. I think that getting a mini of your character or painting minis sounds like a lot of fun. And if I had room, I would definitely get into creating them and painting them. But like as far as like buying the boxes that are kind of like gambling, I don't see the point.
Right. I get it.
But then I am not a player of, I don't play Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
I got Pokemon cards when I was young, but nowadays I don't. I do think it's a huge waste of money to be trying. Like, I'm not into card collecting.
Gotcha.
I think, and not that I don't think collecting things is fun. I think that it's just, I'm too careful with my money. If I'm going to spend money on my hobby, I want to have a concrete thing. I don't want to chase the dopamine of getting a rare thing.
Right. And you never know what's in that box. So
yeah. And I know I get some people love that. Maybe because I like, this room is an absolute mess. Now I have a little son who has so much. I'm so cluttered. I'm like overwhelmed with clutter.
So
I
get it.
Don't want to be buying clutter.
Yeah, I
would love to
stuff.
make minis, though. I would like to like make my own stuff. I think that'd be cool.
I would love to make my own stuff, but I already have way too many things going on. And I think to add something else to the table would just make me insane. So, that answers the next question. Mini collector Dice Goblin. Obviously, you're not a mini collector. Do you?
I am a Dice Goblin.
Okay.
Look, I actually have. It just happens to be here. So, here are several of my sets. I have a lot of resin ones. This is glass. These are metal resin.
Oh, nice.
But wait, there's more. Because I also have a whole bunch of
oh, wow.
I don't know. These are not organized very well. I have a lot of gemstone dice. So these are amethyst.
Oh, wow.
I think this is moonstone.
I would never. No one would touch it. Don't touch my dice. And see, I have dice, and I have some special dice, and no one gets to touch it. If I had gemstone dice, we would have a problem because I would never use them.
No, I don't. They're just here to be pretty.
Yes.
This is like a pretty metal one. I forget what. I think this is bloodstone.
Oh, nice.
So I have a bunch of gemstone dice. All of these are gifts, by the way. I put these on my wish list, or I get them for Christmas or for my birthday.
Haley, we need to do. I need to do a wish list. I need.
Get on Thrones. Okay, I think I have more in here. Do I have more in here? No, this one's empty. But I do have this satchel. These are some of the dice I got as gifts. These are these? Oh, these are my Moonstone Matriarchy. I think these are liquid core. Oh, no,
nice.
these are my liquid core ones. So if you shake them up, they're swirling with.
Ooh, swirly.
Yeah, my Moonstone ones are. I have another satchel. It's in the other room, and then I have in here a special. This is a metal. These are very heavy.
Nice.
Metal set.
I like the metal ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I have a lot of dice.
So dice goblin it is.
Yeah.
As an experienced DM, and I know that you were saying before that you kind of wing it a lot. What advice would you give someone who is transitioning from player to DM?
Don't be afraid to ask your more experienced player buddies for help if there's a ruling. Like when I first started DMing, I was new as a player. I barely knew the rules. I played like a handful of games, and then the DM that we had was just too flaky. So I was like, all right, I'll be the DM.
Right.
The people who were in my group, some of them had played D&D before. So I'd be like, this is how I learned Pathfinder too. I played one Pathfinder game and then I was DMing after that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I just ask. I go, how does this work? What's the ruling?
Why? Like, how does this? So that actually brings me to the next question then. What is the balance between prep knowledge and winging it? How do you do that, you know?
The more knowledge you have, the easier it is to wing it. So, I don't know. Definitely be willing to learn. Like I'm reading up on my rules all the time.
Gotcha.
It's like my hobby. Prepping is good, but also your players can be chaotic. The less you prep, the more
chaos ensues.
Well, no, the more you prep, the more they'll freak you out because they'll do like the opposite of what you were expecting and then you don't know what to do. So if you go in like not totally prepped, then they could take it wherever they want. And I think that's great. So now I used to over prep and now I make battle maps.
Okay.
So that we have somewhere to fight if a fight ensues. And I have stat blocks prepared. Most of my prep is more like the visual representation because I stream it. So that's really most of the prep is I want to have some pretty music. I want to have some good visuals. I want to have like some semblance, not a storyline, but like a starting hook and then an environment for them to play in. But the more I play, the better I get at winging it. So I try to get some NPCs prepared that are interesting to talk to. My games have so much role play in them that it's good to have a character that they can like bounce off of, though I prefer the players to role play with each other.
I feel like when they role play with each other, it gives me time to like figure like talk amongst yourselves.
I get when I have to drive the RP, I get nervous. I'm not that good because I'm better at watching them role play and then coming up with the environment. I'm not very good at role playing back and forth with anybody.
I'm okay at role playing back and forth because I have a few set characters in my mind.
That's good.
That I know what they're going to say. I know how they're going to speak. So they're in my head. So I'm okay with role playing if I have to. But I'd rather my players role play with each other. That's that's the point. That's the point of the whole game. For you guys to play. So what's your favorite setting in either your homebrew or from a module?
I love planar stuff. Like extra planar stuff. So I do this a lot. I'll do a one shot that takes place in like we've done the elemental plane of wood.
Okay.
I like going to the Hells or the Abyss, or I like going to the Feywild. Just planar stuff. I like checking it out. I think it's fun. It's like going on a vacation.
It's like I'm going someplace nice. It's in my head. It's always great. What are the regrets that or mistakes that you made as a DM or even as a player since you've started this whole thing and gone into the D&D part of content creating?
Mistakes as in like a mistake running a game or a mistake like a career mistake?
Either a regret or a mistake for either career wise or winning a
Oh,
game wise, you know.
um, not really.
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't regret anything. I regret that I don't have more time.
You know, I feel like 24 hours is not enough, and
Mm-mm.
it's never enough. I feel like I don't get enough sleep, which I don't, and it's fine. I'll sleep later,
Yeah.
you know. But
I love my sleep.
no regrets.
I could sleep. I don't, but I could sleep
Mm.
13, 14 hours if I was just left alone.
I don't know if I could do that. Only because, um, my brain will wake me up after. Just like get up, get up. I'll stay in bed for 13
Not
or 14
me.
hours, but sleeping for
I could go into a coma.
oh
No,
God, I
no, that's
wish.
probably the tired mom speaking,
Right.
because only recently has my son started sleeping through the night and more
Mm.
steadily, but for the first 2 years of his life, I was in constant sleep deprivation, and it
Okay.
was like being tortured. I thought I
Yes,
was
it is.
dying
It
of
is.
like, because he would wake up in the middle of the night, he would wake up early. He wouldn't go to bed until like 8 or 9 and then wake up at 4:30 in the morning
And you're
for
like,
some
why are
reason.
you up? Like, what are you?
I That screws with your brain, by the way. If
Yes.
that happens over a long period of time, I feel like that was it was so bad for me. Like,
Hmm.
my body has not recovered, and now I'm, like, finally getting normal sleep
Right.
again.
Right.
I'm like, "Wow, I have all this energy to do all this stuff.
Like
I'm in
I
such a
feel
good mood."
good. Like this feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once my sister moved out, it was kind of like, oh, this is nice. It's quiet again. You know.
Yeah, I'm not good. If I like, I can survive on 8 hours. If I get
Mm.
less than 8 hours, I drag my feet and my eyes hurt for the
Yes.
whole day. I
Right.
am not one of those people who can just, "Oh, I only got 6 hours. I guess I'll just push through it."
I'm
Some
not
people can do
either.
that.
Yeah.
My husband can live on, I mean, I say he can. I know he would prefer a lot more sleep,
But he
but
can
he
function.
just
He
yeah,
can actually
he can
function.
straight up go to work on
Yeah.
5, 6 hours of
No,
sleep. I'm like,
I'll go to work, but you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like what you get.
I literally feel like there's a nail in my head if
Oh,
I get that. Like, it's like I cannot function.
oh, yeah,
I
no.
don't know. I'm just a weak person.
It's not weakness. I think it's just like your body is like, we need sleep. This is the requirement for you to get whatever
I do
quality you
know
need.
there's like a gene, like a rare kind of person who can function on like 4 or 5 hours of sleep,
Right.
and it doesn't debilitate them as bad,
That's my
and I'm
mother.
so jealous. I'm
That's my
so
mother.
jealous.
Like ridiculously will be up, like especially when it's summertime. It'll be 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'll hear someone in the garden, and I'm like, what is happening? And I'll go outside, and she's out there gardening. I'm like, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing? She's like, I couldn't sleep.
That's I wish I would have so much more time if I
Like
could do that.
she does, or she'll be cooking. I'll smell like sausages, or I'll smell some steak. I'll smell something at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, who is cooking at 2 o'clock in the morning? It's her in the kitchen, like doing her thing. I'm like, all right, fine.
I wanted to respond to Simply Haley in the chat,
Yeah.
just to say, yeah, those first 2 years are rough, and my son did end up dropping his
Mm,
daily nap, like maybe 8 months ago.
okay.
So that was hard
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like him having a nap was like, oh, I get an hour or two to myself.
Yeah.
So that when that disappeared, oh my gosh.
It's like, oh gosh, we're all day now. So, chat, if you want to ask Scarlett any questions, please drop it in chat. You can use channel points to ask questions so we can keep track of them. So,
Yeah.
feel
Could
free.
we take like a minute so I could use the ladies' room?
Totally go for it. Go for it.
Okay, okay. I'll be
Yeah.
right back.
Be right back. So, just so while we're waiting for Scarlett, next week Friday, I believe. I think it is. I have an interview with one of my friends and a content creator. His name is the Chef Boy. He does mostly content on YouTube, and we're gonna be talking about not much D&D stuff, but just content creating and how to get into it and be successful at it. So that is one of the things we'll be doing. I will be back as well, so stand by, please. And welcome back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, uh, welcome back, guys. So, like I said, if you ask whatever you want to ask, we're gonna do some questions and answers at the end here. Um, so, in your opinion, if someone wanted to make this their full time job, obviously it's a lot of work. Um, what personality trait or strength would they need to work in an industry like this to be successful?
There's a few,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think content creation is for everybody.
Right.
Uh, the first, the first thing is, this is gonna sound mean. You have to be interesting to watch.
Yes.
And if you're not, that's like, you don't, if you're not cutting it as like a content creator, that doesn't mean you're not an interesting person or unworthy person. There is just the audience likes what it likes.
Right.
And
Exactly.
now there is definitely like a baseline of that just being a natural thing. However, it is a trait that can be kind of learned if you are willing to watch your stuff, which is hard to do.
Yes.
You watch your stuff back and notice your mistakes and work on them. Charisma is something that can be practiced. Now, like, again, there is a baseline I think that some people just naturally have. But charisma can be learned.
Right.
Just like being funny can be learned. I would say if you don't,
being funny can be learned. I don't know if that's true.
I think so.
Really?
I think funny can be learned.
I don't know.
I think you have to be smart enough to be able to know what's funny.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that stand-up comedians are very smart, and that's why they're funny, because they are able to make jokes. Like if you're quick enough to be able to make a joke that's funny, and I'm not saying like funny in a bathroom humor, farty, obnoxious kind of way. I don't think that's very funny. But like in a clever way, yeah, I think that can be learned. It's a practice, you just gotta you gotta listen to a lot of content. You gotta think about stuff.
Yes.
You gotta,
you gotta constantly think about stuff, and it becomes this. And I don't know.
You gotta practice. Yeah, I think it can be practiced. Like the more I streamed, the better at being a streamer I got.
Okay, I got that. I mean, for me, I don't. I have this not only imposter syndrome, but I also think that I have a tendency to not believe when people tell me something, so about
That's
myself.
fair.
They'll say, "Oh, I love being in your channel." I'm like, I don't believe you. I get it.
You know what? How you fix that? So when people, if you think that they're lying when they say that, that seems like subconsciously you don't believe that your channel is entertaining to watch.
Right.
So you need to be able to sit down and watch and say confidently, no, I think I did a good job putting this together, and this is my strengths. And then if you notice weaknesses, like if you notice like a streamer who's not doing well, let's say it's because they never talk to their chat. They're playing their video game and they're just
my pet peeve.
Yeah. And you might not realize you're doing that in the moment, but if you can go back and watch that and be like, holy shit, I barely talked. No wonder why nobody was watching my stream. Then you can put a sticky note next to your screen that says, say something, you idiot. And
say something, you say something. That's a good point, Collinsworth. Say something, you idiot. I like that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so there's always ways to improve that, but being interesting to watch, and interesting can mean so many things.
Right.
For some people, they are gorgeous and have great makeup and a nice rack.
Right.
That's interesting to watch. So they don't have to do much else. And some people resent that. I think it's fine. If you don't have those features, but you say things in a way that is very compelling or hilarious or just interesting or soothing, that's interesting to watch. So identifying what the easiest way for you to be interesting and then leaning into that and cultivating it, I think is how you can at least start the path to
Gotcha.
success.
Yeah. So, as a woman DMing in TTRPGs, what are the obstacles that you've encountered or endured at the early stages at tables or just streaming online?
uh, s- Whenever I make TikToks talking or Instagrams talking
Mm-hmm.
about my experiences as a DM, I get very obnoxious comments
Mm-hmm.
such as woman D girl DM, they didn't have that when I was
Oh
playing DM. Where
God.
were you when I was playing? I wish I
Ugh.
had you in my basement.
Ew.
Um, yeah, it's just unsettling. And I
Ew.
always go, oh yeah, we existed. We were just hiding from you,
Yeah, because
weirdo.
gross. Um, not. Ugh. So, how did you combat that? How did you get that out of your stream,
um,
your channel?
I well, if anyone says anything weird in my chat, I just ban them.
Mm-hmm.
If someone leaves a comment like that, I just reply with ew. I'm a little sassy. If people leave me misogynistic comments,
Mm-hmm.
even if they're benevolent misogyny, like
Right.
they're not meaning to be gross, I tend to try and like put a little spotlight on it, like,
Right.
hey, that was uncool. That was not cool.
Right.
Uh Either they'll not say anything, they'll like catch themselves, or they'll get super defensive, in which case I just block them.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Just
Collinsworth has
like,
a good point. I never felt I was a good writer until I published it, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm sort of all right. So
yeah,
yeah, that's a
that's a
good
good
point.
point.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
for the longest, when I first started doing, the whole point of this channel was always interviews. Like I always want to interview content creators, specifically people who do fantasy and TTRPG and cosplay and fiction writing, and filmmaking. And when I first started doing this, I'm like, this is awful. There's no one watching this. Why am I interviewing a person with one person? And then after a while, I was like, this is really cool. Like, it started to become fun. So when I'm
Yeah.
doing this, it's fun. You know,
Yeah.
So we'll see what
That's really
happens.
that's really like you got okay, so I guess the trait number 2 to be successful at this
Mm-hmm.
is tenacity
Yes.
and a structure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My Out of the Abyss campaign, even though the rest of my streams ever since I became a mom started getting like smaller and smaller because
Mm-hmm.
of there's a lack of consistency with me streaming,
Mm-hmm.
my Sunday game has been my Sunday game for 3 years,
Okay.
like clockwork. I get amazing turnout for that,
Mm-hmm.
even if I don't do anything else that week, because everyone knows at 5 Pacific time on Sundays,
Yes.
I'm streaming Out of the Abyss. That consistency, always doing it like clockwork. Don't just like cancel unless, obviously, if you have to, you
If you
have to.
have to, right.
But sticking to a schedule
Mm-hmm.
helps.
Right.
I've heard so many stories of people who have lower viewer counts starting a schedule and sticking to it, and that viewer count like fixing that issue pretty quickly.
Right. Right.
So
So
that's very important.
it is actually very important because that's why most of the interviews are on Fridays. So, um,
Mm-hmm.
what is your biggest influence that most people have never heard of?
Hmm. I don't know. I'm not like hipster enough to have some like secret unknown influence.
Hipster enough. I love it.
My biggest influences are so like basic bitch. I
Oh
like
no! My
Brennan Lee Mulligan, at Matt Mercer, Brea, like the big hitters.
right, right. So, with that being known, so what is your, since you do a lot of module based thing because it's so easy to just fall into a module, especially like the Abyss campaign. How many
Hmm.
editions of D&D have you played so far, and what is your favorite one?
Just fifth edition. I've only been playing since 2019.
Okay, okay.
I'm brand new to the. I'm the new kid on the block.
Gotcha. I mean, look, I play let me rephrase that. I only play 5e. However, I
Hmm.
integrate rules from 4e, which is my favorite. So that's a
Hmm.
whole thing. Um, what other you said you played Shadowrun recently? What other TTRPGs have you been playing or enjoying?
I recently got to play Call of Cthulhu. That was fun.
Oh,
I want to play more of that.
oh,
Um, I've already said Pathfinder. I've played Narrative Universe TTRPG, which
Okay.
is a brand new one that was created by Mr. Kurtwise, who is a content creator in the space. What else have I played? I'm planning on playing Vampire Masquerade and
Oh, I have
Cyberpunk and
Vampire Masquerade right behind me. I don't know if you can see it. It's sitting back there, that green book right there.
oh, nice.
Yes, one of the first things I played was Vampire Masquerade. I love that game.
I want to play more. I've most of my time has gone to D&D and
Hmm.
Pathfinder, only Pathfinder because people who I played D&D with kept talking about it. They're like, "Oh, I
Right.
like it better."
Really? You think people like
Hmm.
the Pathfinder better?
People who like Pathfinder better.
Hmm.
People who like D&D 3.5
Right.
like Pathfinder
Pathfinder.
for
Right.
obvious reasons.
Hmm.
Um, because okay, I think people who like D&D who constantly have to homebrew to make it more complex, they
Hmm.
wish D&D was more complex,
Right.
like Pathfinder.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Cough
Because it's
that.
like it's very similar.
Hmm.
It's just like everything is instead of like if D&D is like A or B, it's very
Right.
binary, off, on, A, B, proficient, not proficient,
Proficient. Right.
resistant, not
Not
resistant,
resistant. Gotcha.
or resistant, vulnerable. Pathfinder is like a gradients.
Hmm.
You're not proficient or you are trained, expert,
Yes.
master, or legendary. You're not
What?
just resistant or not resistant. You're resistant 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just they just take everything and then expand it,
Right. It's like how
which
3.5 used to be.
exactly,
Yeah.
which is that makes sense because it is a derivative of
Right.
3.5. So
Hmm.
when they switched over to fourth edition, everyone who wanted it to stay 3.5 went off and made Pathfinder.
Play with Pathfinder. I get it, and I totally get it. I understand. I like 4.E. I think 4.E. 4E. What the heck did the point come from? I think 4E is great if you're a DM. It's great for DMs because of the way
Hmm.
it's structured, and it's easy for DMs to follow and to use and to create and to pull from. If you're a player, you're gonna hate it.
I
uh,
heard I've never played it, but I heard it was just really crunchy.
it's very crunchy. And as a player, it's super. It's one of those things you're like, I don't want to do math and play a game. But if you're the DM, um, obviously I have to follow the math anyway. But there's a lot
Yeah.
more things I could pull from. Like even like their monster stat blocks are much more detailed and immersive than
Interesting.
yeah.
I wonder if in because nowadays VTTs are a big thing.
Mm.
I wonder if now 4E would work better.
I feel like
Because
it
if you
would.
play on a virtual table that like Pathfinder, I don't do any of the math. I just click the character sheet and it does all the math for me.
And
So I
it's
don't even have
easy.
to worry about it. That makes it so much easier.
And I think
You have to
40 I
worry
think
about that.
40 would do better now than it did back then. I believe that. Um I believe that people who stream with specific content like D&D are talented, kind of undiscovered producers, directors, actors. Where do you see yourself in these type of roles and that I've mentioned, and do you con- think you're going to expand on becoming more into those type of roles?
Um, I mean, so I do a little bit of everything on my
Hmm.
channel. Like
Hmm.
I design all the overlays
Yeah.
and program the VTT. When I had time, I was writing the music for the games and drawing the characters.
Hmm.
I definitely would love to produce a larger scale game, but I
Hmm.
enjoy being the dungeon master.
Right.
So I guess I would like to have help. Like if I had a team around me
Hmm.
doing all the other stuff so I can just like
Be the dungeon
plan the
master.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
I would very much enjoy that. But I would also not mind helping, like being someone's behind the scenes kind of
Hmm.
person. I think that might be fun too.
Okay, I get that.
I just like to play. I just want to play.
I think a lot of those, like, I think that, and that comes across for people, like when you just like to play, people are kind of like, I just want to play, so everyone, it's enjoyable for everyone, especially if you're watching. Um,
Yeah.
do you, have you ever learned any lessons, life lessons, regular lessons from gaming? Just from your experience with gaming with different people, have you learned any lessons from them?
I I mean, this was already a belief that I have, but I
Mhm.
feel like it solidified it even more. I just believe that when you are running something that has a lot of people involved, you need to follow through and not be a flake
Right.
and be dependable. So, like, I feel like I already cared about being dependable before, but
Mhm.
now I really like I would be mortified to cancel. Because it's like without me, then it doesn't happen.
Right.
So I just always feel like it's important to follow through, do what you say, uh, carry your weight,
Mhm.
you know. And if you can't promise that you are gonna if you're gonna be come onto a project
Mhm.
that requires this amount of you, if you cannot like commit to that, then you shouldn't be on the project at all.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So I know that I know I haven't asked this question yet, but and you kind of touched on it a little bit. In the older tables, there used
Mhm.
to be a type of player stereotype where that player was like, actually that's not how that goes, or actually it's this way. How do you deal? Have you ever dealt with that type of player? And if so, how did you deal with them?
Yeah, I've had people try to correct me,
Mm-hmm.
whether they were correct or incorrect. It depends. Okay, so if they're correcting me,
Mm-hmm.
but they're wrong, I get annoyed.
Fair, fair.
I'll give them a look and I'll just say, I'll like calmly explain, but I'll give them a look like, don't interrupt me. Um, However, at my tables, I
Mm-hmm.
have an open policy with my players. If I get a rule wrong,
Okay.
let me know. And
Mm-hmm.
then I will let you know if it was intentional and I'm going to stick with my original ruling, or
Mm-hmm.
if I made a mistake, in which case I correct myself.
Gotcha.
And my players are pretty comfortable. They like this happens almost every week. If I say something in the moment and it's wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and I just didn't know it or I
Mm-hmm.
forgot, I go, "Oh yeah, okay, totally." Um, but if it's something that I know, like I'm homebrewing something and I
Mm-hmm.
just didn't disclose it to them, and they say, "Hey, isn't it like that?" Now they're always nice about it. They don't go,
Right.
"Actually," they always go, "Hey, isn't it like this?" Or I think it might be like this. Uh, what I'll do is instead of saying, "Well, no, I want it this way," I'm trying to think of an example. Like if ooh, I want to come up with a great example. Okay, I'm making this up, right? This never
Mm-hmm.
happened, but I'm making this up. The
Mm-hmm.
enemy attacks you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's you're wearing adamantine armor. Like they crit, and the person
Mm-hmm.
goes, "Actually, I'm wearing adamantine armor. They can't crit me." But let's pretend I had thought of that,
Right.
and this crit ignores adamantine armor. Instead of just saying, "Oh, well, this just ignores adamantine armor," I would say in
Mm-hmm.
character, as you take this blow, you have been so confident in your armor protecting you in your
Mm-hmm.
vital places, and yet to your absolute surprise,
Right.
it still manages to reach your weak spot, and horror fills you as you realize that this crit ignores adamantine armor. So
Right.
I acknowledge them thinking, "Hey, isn't it like this?" And then I try and explain
Mm-hmm.
in game
Why?
why it happened. That way, it is never an above table argument. It
Right.
is that was their thought, and now I am narrating the reason
And
why
this
it
is part
wasn't
of the
what they thought.
story.
Mhm.
And it makes sense. So that brings us to rules as written or rules as intended then.
Um, it depends, I think.
Okay.
I think it depends. I usually go by rules as what's an example of a good like, what's the most
Hmm.
stereotypical rules as written versus rules as intended?
Um. See, I have homebrew rules, so it's kind of hard. Let me think of some. Let's think of one
Off the top of my
off
head,
the
I
top of
would
my head.
say if it was intended and it was a typo, I would
Hmm.
go with intended. Um, I just don't think that's ever come up before.
So I I usually start my characters Monopoly rules. I usually start my characters, um, but no matter where I'm playing, on at least level 3. I think grinding sucks, and I think starting at
Mhm.
level 1 is boring.
Yeah.
And I think that your character becomes more interesting when they're at start around level 3. And that's where it's like specifically for a rogue, where they start to become a rogue. Hi,
Mm-hmm.
look, there he is. There's my little nephew. He just said hi.
Oh, hi! Congratulations on your black belt.
So
I'm so proud of you.
it's spring break, so he's up. So it's all good. Hi, Kana. um, so what was I saying? He distracted me.
Rules
Oh,
is
rules is written.
written.
So
Yeah.
so let's say for a rogue, they start stealthing really good around level 3, between level 3 and
Mm-hmm.
5. Um, if the players like, I know that if you roll below a certain amount, that that stealth is gonna fail. But
Mm-hmm.
I also know for your character and where they are in the story, and I know that there were for character like they would most likely be able to stealth or hide or something. I'm like, okay, so I know it's written this way, but let's just say that you did successfully hide. So that's what I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say I'm pretty flexible with rule. When I
Yeah.
first started, I was way less flexible with
Right.
rules, and then
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of realized that that wasn't very fun. It kind of bogged things down, and because we are more of a performative D&D group, I definitely have laxed off. I ask for less roles,
Yes.
honestly.
Yeah, I
If
get it.
I've like already thought in my head that I'm gonna let him do this, then I'm not gonna make him roll for it.
Yeah, I agree. And I know sometimes players like to roll. Like everyone wants to.
Yeah.
A lot of my players for some strange reason, especially the players that the people who hire me, love rolling dice. I don't understand why, but yes, he says thank you. But so if you could DM for anyone, dead or alive, real or fiction, who would
uh,
it be?
Brett and Lee Mulligan. Oh,
Okay.
and oh, what's her name? The girl that's at his table all the time. I forget her name, but she's in all of the Dimension 20 stuff. She's chaos and she's
Okay.
very funny. I don't know. I don't remember what her name is, but Emily Axford. That's her name. I would
Okay.
DM for Emily Axford.
Okay. Okay. Anybody fictional or
Fictional?
yeah, it could be anyone. It doesn't matter if they're real, fiction, dead, live. Um,
Oh, I know who it would be. My husband. I've been trying to get him to play D&D
he
with me,
doesn't
and
play D&D.
no, he buys me D&D stuff. He watches all my games. He watches
Okay.
actual plays with me. He will not play. He
Why
plays Baldur's
not?
Gate with me because he thinks one-on-one would be corny. He thinks he is too shy to role play. It gives him a little bit of the little like, and I get it.
I
Look,
get it.
when I first started role playing,
Hmm.
creeped like I got such an ick because I had never seen it before.
Okay.
But that now I'm so used to it that it's
Right.
like nothing. So yeah, anybody, if I could DM for anybody, it would be my husband.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I
So,
want him to play with me so
so
bad.
like, please play. Um, you incorporate a level of cosplay at your tables. Like I've seen your different makeup styles and
Mm.
costumes. And is this an intentional thing or is this just a fun thing?
Yes. I
Okay.
would do it more often if I've stopped doing it mostly because his new schedule, I don't have as much. The whole mom thing, it made it so I
Yes,
didn't have
I get
time
it.
to go full cosplay.
Hmm.
That might be able to be changing soon,
Hmm.
because Leo is he actually lets me sit down and put my makeup on
Oh,
without like
cool.
bothering me. Yeah, it's insane. So now that if I can start incorporating that again
Hmm.
to a bigger degree, absolutely. I love dressing up as the villain of the session.
Oh, cool.
Um, I did a lot of cosplay when I was DJing.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
I've
just think it's
seen that.
fun. I mean, come on, this is one out of like 30 wigs that I own. Um, I just like it. I enjoy it very much. I like dressing up.
Dress Leo up. Noodle says dress Leo up too.
Ah, if only he would let me. He hasn't every year so far that he's been alive, I've gotten him a little Halloween costume and
Hmm.
he hates it every time.
Really?
He's not having it. But he doesn't talk yet and he
Right.
doesn't really understand much yet.
Right.
So he's still baby brained.
Right. So it's kind of like, why am I dressed as
Yeah,
the
he's like, "Get this
popcorn?
off me, get this off me." Like I put a little lion outfit on him once, and
Hmm.
he just stood there and was like, "Ah!"
Like, what is this? Get it
And
off!
he was like, "Ah!" And I was like, "Okay, okay, I'm not gonna make you."
I don't want to embarrass him, but my nephew was a lion when he was 2. Was
Aw.
it 2 or
Well,
yeah?
well, his name is Leo, so he has all of the lion toys and all of the lion
Oh,
costumes. Little Leonidas.
oh, that's so adorable. God, they're so cute. I like when they're babies. Like when you guys are babies, it's much more fun. Um, other
I was never that into kids or babies.
mhm,
Like, I didn't dislike them, but
right.
after I had him,
Hmm.
every baby, I love every baby.
Every like all
Every
babies are cool.
baby. You know the I love cats, I love every kind of cat. I want to hold them all, but I can't. Can't hug every cat. That's me and babies.
Aw. Oh, that's so adorable. So, other than TTRPGs, other than D&D and Pathfinder, what other things do you enjoy doing?
I love to draw.
Okay,
All my hobbies I incorporate into my TTRPGs.
gotcha.
I love to draw. I just started this new thing called Dessert Dragons.
Oh, okay.
They are dragons based on desserts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I actually have some of my prints right here. I started selling stickers and
Oh,
prints about them.
yes, I've been looking at them.
This is a pumpkin spice
Oh,
dragon. Um, this is an apple cider dragon.
oh, that's adorable.
This is a hot cocoa dragon. And this is an eggnog dragon. I made this set of like dessert comfy drink dragons, and then like right now I'm working on a donut dragon, and I have ice cream dragons, and
Oh,
I just made, it's like, you know how there's like chromatic dragons and
yes.
metallic dragons. I have dessert dragons, and it did go viral on the internet, so
Mm-hmm.
I made a website, I made stickers, and that's like kind of a lot of my time goes into managing and shipping,
Right.
and yeah, so I
Oh,
love to draw.
okay. So, do you plan on like streaming your art, like when you're
I
actually drawing, or is that
I
a
I
private
used to
thing?
do that all the time. No, I used to do that all the time. I don't get as much stuff done when I'm streaming it. If I had more days to stream, I would do art streams, and I used to do a lot more art streams.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just it's my husband's on the night shift. I
I
want to
get
hang
it.
out
I
with
get
him.
it. I
So
get it.
I do my Out of the Abyss. I do my Friday game. I go
Mm-hmm.
to game on Sunday. I've been just like the days that I don't have like a thing
Mm-hmm.
exactly planned. I used to try and stream on those other days, and every day my husband would bring me like something like this,
Aw.
and he'll be like, "Just relax tonight, baby. We could play whatever video game you want.
Aw.
Do you want to play Age of Code? Do you?" He'll pick whatever game I'm into. Do you want to play? We'll play. Or hey, I got us a show. We can watch a show. So he is a good bad influence on me.
Okay,
And
the cuteness level is
he
epic
just
right now. It's so
yeah.
adorable. Oh.
Yeah, he and I are very we've been in our honeymoon phase for 10 years
Oh, that's
now.
adorable. I love it. I absolutely adore it. So, chat. We're getting close to the time we're going to be having getting chat questions. So, if you have any questions for Scarlett, put them in chat so we can ask her whatever questions you like within
Ask me
reason.
anything. Yeah,
Within
if I don't like the
reason. If we don't like the question, that's gonna answer. So, tell us what we can expect from you in the future.
I would like to take my current like actual play game to like a more professional, polished level.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the Abyss was like it's been going for 2 years. It's very much been a practice for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be doing more mini campaigns. Like Noodle Link in the chat is actually in my Friday campaign,
Hi.
and she plays Janice Hoplin,
Mm-hmm.
the rabbit fighter.
Yep.
Uh, and yeah, it's a really fun little campaign. But I did a bunch of artwork for it. I did an overlay for it. Like I'm posting it on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. So I want to do more of that where I have like themed games that have a
Gotcha.
high production value. I want to work with other content creators.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I'm the kind of person who is a little too shy to reach out to content creators above my pay grade.
It is so
Um,
hard to do that.
it's very scary. I feel unworthy, but I think that I should because I think that it would like in all of the games that I play, for the most part, other than this Friday game, I have a few content creators in it, but for the most part, I'm like the content creator, and the rest are, some of them do stream more as a hobby or like part-time, or are still kind of like growing, and some of them don't stream at all. And it's more like a game with friends. So I think it would help me to start collaborating with more content creators. I want to get onto YouTube. I just can't decide what I'm going to do on YouTube. Because whatever it is, I have to commit to making videos, and that's
the thing. Is the
so much
YouTube
effort.
is a huge commitment. It's such a huge commitment. Noodle asks, "What's your favorite D&D character you've made?"
Oh, my favorite is an elf ranger named Snow. She is a winter Eladrin, and she is the mom's. She's the party mom, where she makes sure everyone is like, has their snacks. Everyone get behind me if it's dangerous. Don't forget it's buddy system. Everybody, if you got your buddy, let's do a head count real quick. And her shtick is she's like a ancient elf. But elves, she looks young.
Right.
She is from the Feywild, and she was banished from the Feywild for reasons that were never revealed. And she's been like wandering around Faerun kind of sadly, unable to go home. She's but for like hundreds of years. And then one day she met a very nice woodsman guy, and they fell in love and got married. And they had 2 little kids. And when she had those kids, she suddenly realized that she was going to outlive her entire family.
Right.
And not only that, but when she died, she was going to go back to Elvander, I think it's called, and be reincarnated where her family would not, because they are not elves. And that freaked her out. So she went on a quest trying, the hook of the story was that we were going to do a gig, and the reward was a wish spell. She was going to use that wish to become human, so she could grow old with her husband and her kids. But she left in the middle of the night because she thought it was going to be a quick job, and she knew that he wouldn't agree to her doing it. So she was just going to like
go real quick, come right back.
But they got trapped in the dread domains in the Shadowfell.
Oh my god!
Yeah. So she's never. So my plan,
Haley, this hurts my heart.
If she dies, my plan was to bring her follow-up character was going to be her daughter, as a 20-year-old girl who all she knows is that when she was 6 years old, her mom left. And her dad died of a broken heart. Her brother, who was 4 at the time, had no one to like pay attention to him. And so everyone thought that her mom, that hot elf, just ran out on her family because but she knows something went wrong. So she made a pact. My character actually had some shit going on with Baba Yaga in the game. So I was going to have her daughter become a warlock, her patron being Baba Yaga, trying to find and rescue her mom.
Oh my god. My heart. I know.
But I would cosplay as this character. I made art of this character. She has like a cute little she looks like a young elf who's like cosplaying as Gandalf, because she has like a gray wizard hat and a gray cloak and a little staff, and she has like a smoking pipe that her husband, who was a wood carver, made for her. And she's just so cheerful, and because she's so good like with kids, she always has a smile and a bright countenance, and she hides her fear and her terror because she's like, I'm the parent. I need to be strong. So she's my best character.
Okay, I have on makeup, and we cannot cry on stream with makeup. That is a no. That's a hard pass.
I cried. There was a moment where I thought she was going to die, and she hadn't told anybody in the party what was going on. And her final words to someone before she went off was, if you ever get out of here, tell my husband and my children that I love them.
Oh my
and then
god!
She disappeared. Yes!
No! No, crying. So, Haley asks, we're gonna change the subject now. We have Noodles crying. Haley asks, "What's your favorite thing about being a mom? Also, what favorite part about TTRPGs?"
Okay. My favorite part
She's
about
right
being
there.
mom is my son is the cutest critter on the planet, and he's so sweet. He's so cuddly.
Aww.
Um, I think just watching him grow is
Hmm.
just so remarkable. Like he's like a whole person,
Right.
and I get the honor and privilege of being in his life. So I think that's just I basically made my own TTRPG party member.
uh, Kana, my nephew just redeemed. She's right there. You can see her. She's right there. Don't. She's right
Aw,
there.
kitty.
She's right here. She's being loud and kitty, and she's the weirdest cat. This the cat. I will be in here, doing anything else but streaming. She won't be here. The minute the camera comes on, the
It's
second I'm live.
she likes the sound of your voice.
I think that's what it is. She has to. Like, I don't understand because I could be in here editing a video, looking at myself, like past interviews, whatever. Nothing. you know, live.
My
There
cat's
she
like
is.
that.
Yeah.
I have the door closed so Leo doesn't wander in here in a diaper, and that's. But she would normally come in and sit in here when I was talking because she
Yeah.
likes being around. Second part of the question: what's my
Second
favorite part about TTRPGs? I
Yes.
think my favorite thing about TTRPGs is it can combine all. I collect hobbies,
Okay.
so art and music, anything creative, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
making stuff, doing stuff,
Mm-hmm.
all of that I can combine together into one piece of art, and that is the TTRPG. So I think that's my favorite part of it, is that I can like harness all of my interests
Mm-hmm.
into a single thing.
Yes, Noodling. That is exactly where her name is from. um, so we are at the end of this. There's anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to add?
Hey, just let me know if you want to come play in some one shots with me. I
Absolutely.
love to have you.
Absolutely. Like I'm always down to do a one shot because I'm normally DMing. I never get to play. So anytime someone invites me, I'm coming to play. So it's an absolute yes. Um,
Sweet.
I always let my guests guide the raid if they're on Twitch. You are obviously on Twitch, so you could
Oh,
totally guide the raid here. In the meantime, while you're looking, thank you guys for hanging out with us. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed talking to Scarlett, and you guys had some great questions. I will be on tomorrow. I promised that I would be on to do some actual D&D content and not play any more video games, even though I was obsessed with the quarry. But we saved everyone, so we're okay. um, so I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll be doing some D&D content, probably some homebrewing in New York City, in the magic of New York City. So where are we going?
okay, so I linked you in DMs. This is the one who I mentioned earlier started his YouTube channel around the same time as I did,
Mm-hmm.
and has completely been blowing up.
Okay.
He's a very hardworking D&D creator
Mm-hmm.
who does a lot of homebrew stuff and
Oh,
reviews
gotcha.
homebrew. So he's very technically good, and I've played in a couple of D&D games with him too.
Gotcha. I see him. I know exactly who you're talking about. Hang on one second. I think I used to follow this person. Stand by. I'm almost positive I used to follow them. Yes, I do follow them. That is perfect. All right.
Sweet.
So we are going over there, and I will keep it a surprise until the raid comes up. Um,
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes people will go and see who I'm rating and then go, get ready, get ready. I'm like, don't
don't
spoil
say it.
it.
Don't spoil it. So
What if I change my mind in the next 2 seconds because someone pops on and I go, oh, I forgot it's their birthday? Like,
exactly. So we're gonna raid Cinder Block Sally, and thank you guys for hanging out with us. It's a lot of fun. Thank you for being on. I really appreciate it. I enjoy talking with you. You're extremely. It's like I said, I lurk in your channel all the time, and now I will
Well,
be
now you have
chatting.
to say
I will be
hi.
saying hi from now on. I've tried to raid, but it doesn't work, and I can't figure out why. But
Oh, that's
that
strange. You know,
it's
I do have it turned where it's like you have to have a minimum of like 5, and I was doing that because people with 0 were just trying to do some funny shit back when
that's
I
bizarre.
was
Yeah,
but that was back when I was DJing, when that was like an actual like
right.
problem. It's not a problem anymore, so I'm gonna have to turn that off.
That I totally get it. So I will be in your stream hanging out. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I will see you guys tomorrow. It was a lot of fun. Talk to you
Thanks for
soon.
having
And as
me.
always, it's better to be kind than to be nice. And if you can't be good, be careful. Bye.
Hey, ABK, always be kind.
Always be kind. All right, we are. Give me